You've got big projects to tackle, but your day gets swallowed up by repetitive tasks and constant inquiries. It's hard to make progress when you're stuck putting out fires. That's where Element 451's AI assistants come in. Acting like an extra set of hands, you get your time back for the high-impact projects. Ready to reclaim your time? Visit element451.com/AI team to learn more.
Welcome to In Your Element, the podcast that unlocks practical wisdom in higher education, where leadership meets real talk. I'm Brendan Henkel, Manager of Solutions Engineering here at Element 451.
And I'm Daniella Nordin, Element 451's Director of Customer Success and Engagement. Join us every other Thursday for discussions with everyday heroes using Element 451 in enrollment, marketing, and student success. We'll unlock the practical tips to help you make waves on your campus.
In Your Element is a part of the Enrollify Network, a robust collection of podcasts designed to help higher education professionals like you grow. Explore our other shows at enrollify.org or check out some of my personal favorites linked in the show notes below.
Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the leading AI-powered all-in-one student engagement platform, helping institutions create meaningful, personalized, and engaging interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com.
Man, oh man, am I excited for the episode today. Welcome back. Today we have a treat for you. We have Lenell Hahn, the Director of Admissions from Southeast Missouri State University. Not only is she the Director of Admissions, but SEMO is currently the reigning champion of the Team Spirit Award at Element 451 that was created and birthed. If you're listening, you can't see the beauty that's going on right now, but these t-shirts that they made about us being in our Element era, I'm so honored to have you here, Lenell, and I'm so excited for the conversation. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. You all are some of my favorite people, so I'm honored that you asked me to join you all.
Awesome.
What people may not know, Brendan, is that is a new award, the Team Spirit Award, that was created solely for the SEMO team because we were so impressed when you all came in rocking these shirts. They say "In My Element Era," so they're trendy. We're Swifties, you're Swifties, the whole world are Swifties, so it was very appropriate. But we were so impressed by just the energy that you all brought into the conference that we had to create an award for you. But it wasn't your only award. You are a previous winner of a Bolte too, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Last year, they won the Student Personalization Award, right?
They did, yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So you have a track record to beat here.
I have a beautiful counter in my office of all of my Element certificates and awards. So I love displaying them. Yes.
I love this.
I love it so much.
So many things we could talk about, but Brendan and I really were excited to get you on to talk about one specific thing, something that you all have been really successful with. And it's this idea, I'm going to call it an idea, though I think it's come to fruition, but this idea of direct admissions. We get lots of questions about direct admissions. Well, how do you do direct admissions? What is direct admissions? How do you do it in Element? And I'm here to tell you that Lenell and SEMO have figured it out. Right, Lenell?
We have.
They got the secret sauce.
And we're in our first full cycle, but we had like a little test getting our feet wet cycle last fall.
That's awesome. Now, when did you realize, so whenever this thought came in, I guess you tell us a little bit about that. When did they kind of start floating the idea of wanting to pursue something like that? What did that look like?
Well, we started considering it in 2022, right? And just learning about partnerships that you could be a part of and just kind of understanding what direct admission meant and how it worked. And as we engaged with, potential partners, we kind of realized we weren't a really great fit for that, like initially. And so we started thinking internally, like in-house, do we have a population of students that we could provide this opportunity to? And so that's kind of how it developed.
What was that population? Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, so when we implemented Element 451 in 2020, we decided to go to self-reported admissions for our Fall of 21 class. And so that really created an opportunity that we didn't know would help us when you get into the realm of direct admission. So the population for us was our students taking early college credit with us while they're in high school. And we use an application called Dual Enroll. And so our first thought was, well, we already have a lot of data points on these students. What would we need to add to that application to have everything we need to just offer them automatic admissions to the university as a degree-seeking student once they graduate from high school? So we did have to do some tweaks, right, to that application. And so we put those things in place. And in February of 2023, we started offering direct admission to our early college students. So it, like I said, it was a partial year. It was really late in the cycle, but we had a few in fall of 2023. And we had a good set of students that actually enrolled from that opportunity that by February of their senior year had not applied to Southeast. And so that was great. And so having this full cycle of our fall of 24 class to really create that benchmark data, I'm excited to see how we continue to expand upon that. And then we did make the decision to also partner with someone. So we have grown beyond just our in-house direct admissions program to a partnership model too.
Oh, that's awesome. And so I'm sure, correct me if I'm wrong, as you were kind of, thinking it through, what it looked like, tweaking out the things with the application that kind of you needed to know and what that looked like, kind of walk us through what that process actually was and like the challenges that you faced setting that up. Because I think that's really important for the listeners out there. We're going to want to know, okay, if I start to go on this path, what are going to be the challenges that await me as I start walking down it?
Yeah. So you do have to make a decision. Are you going to offer direct admission without them ever submitting an application to the institution? Or are you going to offer them admission and then ask them to submit the application post-offer? So those are kind of two major groups. There's actually kind of a third one where maybe you just have them provide just a few supplemental items without actually filling out your application. But so with the in-house early college students, we wanted them to get an admission offer without ever having to submit an application to the institution. And so with that, we needed a way to generate that application in Element. And the great thing is we can use your import tool, just like, because we're a Common App institution. So, you use that import to generate an application from the Common App. We were like, well, why can't we do that from this dual enroll application? Or, now our partnership, we're using Niche, so everybody knows. With that partnership, they give us a file. And so we just use an import process to generate that application. And then the other key piece is, are you comfortable making an admissions offer and a scholarship offer on self-reported information? Well, the great thing for us was when we implemented Element, we changed our processes to take advantage of this amazing platform, right? And so we didn't have that hurdle to overcome, but I'm sure there's a lot of institutions who would have that hurdle to overcome. But we already were confidently making a conditional offer of admission and scholarships on self-reported high school GPA, test scores. And then, of course, you just make sure that you put that in your disclosures that once we get those official documents, there could be a change in maybe a scholarship offer once we confirm what they've self-reported. And so that's worked really well for us.
I love this for two reasons. One is I just can't imagine how overwhelming college applications have become, that you eliminating that barrier, that challenge for the student makes a huge difference. You don't have, this is like, what's even more direct than direct admissions? Like, it's like bypassing direct admissions and just being like, you are absolutely just admitted. So I love that it's putting that student first. but also the work on the back end has made your lives easier, I imagine. You're importing data that you've already gotten. You don't have to recreate the wheel. You can accelerate what that admission offer, looks like, get them in the door with scholarship and aid. It's really benefiting a symbiotic, beneficial relationship here for both the student and your team. Nice work.
Yeah, really looking at the college search process through the lens of the student and then saying, okay, are there barriers that are preventing students from being admitted to college or thinking that college is possible, or a process that can be super complex or intimidating? And, a lot of people have fear of failure, so they don't even try, right? And so we're trying to remove all these barriers and then really instill confidence and helping them just envision themselves as a Red Hawk at SEMO. And, for our early college students, we had students who, for one, they thought, well, I'm already a SEMO student, I don't need to reapply. Or they don't really understand the impact of deadlines, right? So missing a deadline means they could have missed out on $5,000 in scholarship money. And so, again, removing that barrier of missing a deadline and, make this achieving their, career goals a reality. So.
Hey, it's Mallory. Element 451 is hosting the AI Engage Summit on October 29th and 30th. This free virtual event brings together leaders, innovators, and many of your favorite Enrollify creators to explore AI's impact on student engagement, enrollment marketing, and institutional success. We're packing the schedule with real examples and case studies, so you leave knowing how to harness AI to drive meaningful change at your institution. Whether you're looking to enhance student outcomes, optimize enrollment marketing, or simply stay ahead of the curve, the AI Engage Summit is your gateway to the next level of higher education innovation. Registration is free. Visit element451.com to save your spot. Now, back to the show.
I just think that that's so cool because, whenever you think about, I think sometimes whenever I'm talking to people, especially in what I do, and I'm speaking to people as they're possibly looking at changing what their processes are, there still is very much a rigidness in process where people are like, oh no, this is it, how it's been done for 20 years. This is how it's been done. We can't possibly change it. And I think whenever you have that mindset shift of this isn't about process, it's about students, right? And it's about their experience. I think that you become a lot more open to those. And I see that a lot with SEMO. I see that a lot with some of our other partners. And I think that's really what embodies a lot of the partner schools with Element, because we're not doing things the way that they were done the past 10, 15, 20 years. We're trying to transform how that is to reflect the modern day student and the modern day person. And so that's really cool to hear that experience. Now, this is something that kind of popped in my head as we were talking about this. We've spoken a lot about how the impact was to the student. What was the impact internally to your team? Because Daniella kind of alluded to it. It's going to remove some of the hoops that they have to jump through as well. But specifically, what were some things that you saw there on the back end?
Yeah, so it definitely generates new opportunities. And I will say, just have completed year one, we've learned a lot. And it creates new opportunities for our admissions counseling team, because for some of these students, they don't have really awareness of who we are as an institution. And so there's more that we need to do to share with someone where Southeast Missouri State University is located, encouraging them to visit campus, really developing that relationship. And I do think we took that for granted within this very first year. We were focusing on getting the import working, identifying the population we were going to offer to. With the niche partnership, there is like an onboarding form that they fill out. So it's not the application for admission to the institution, but it's just kind of confirming that they want to take action on this offer. And so that way, those that that are going to consider your institution and truly want to be admitted. That way we're not admitting students who haven't reciprocated something back. And so we did a lot of that piece of it. We did build a separate yield campaign for this population of students to add in some of that kind of brand awareness pieces of it to, I guess you could say, court them, right? For a traditional student who applies, they've probably done some research, right? So these students, they haven't had the luxury of necessarily researching your institution because they were just served this offer. And so there's some things that you kind of need to do in a flipped way that we've realized, and encouraging students to visit campus, I think, is going to be a key piece as we go into year 2. We definitely yielded our early college direct admission students at a higher rate than the niche. But that's because they already knew our institution, right? They'd already taken courses with us. They're from more of the local region, whereas that the niche population, it is going to help you expand your geographic reach. It's going to help you attract individuals to your institution that maybe look different than the typical profile of your class. You could maybe target a specific academic program you're hoping to grow in. But with that, it is going to take more time to nurture and create relationships with those students. And so we saw visit rates of our niche students being much lower, of course, than our early college. I think that had a impact on the yield too. And so we've got some really important things that we need to do differently in year 2 than what we did in year 1.
I think it's good, though, to point out, if you do nurture, if there is brand awareness, if you have invested in those components of student communication and personalization, that they are yielding results. I mean, what you just said, these dual enrollment students knew who we were. We had a relationship with them. They convert higher. So those efforts are 1,000% worth it. So you mentioned results yielding at a higher rate. Do you know the numbers off the top of your head, Lenell, like the difference in conversion from that in-house to the partnership numbers?
Yes. So our in-house was 12% higher yield rate than the partnership.
Wow.
So those that initiate the application themselves, their yield is double those that we do direct admission for.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
But again, it just shows their intent versus they get served this opportunity and then it maybe changes their mind. So ideally, yield's not going to be higher. I wouldn't have expected it to be higher. But those that received a direct admission offer and had visited campus, their yield was double that of those that received the offer and didn't visit. So we know visit is a key piece of, students and families choosing a college campus, but we also know that visiting a college campus is an investment for a family.
Yes.
So anything we can do to encourage going and checking out campus so they can truly get that feel for the campus and the students and the faculty and the staff and the facilities, that's so important.
Yeah, I would equate visiting a college campus to having to go to a destination wedding. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves in my life, having to pay that much money to go to somebody's wedding and they still expect a gift out of me. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that you're rolling out the red carpet or else people feel like they're going to go to a destination wedding, which is not a good thing, despite what it may sound like.
It's a good analogy, Brendan. I've never heard that. I'm going to have to use that. Yeah. People are like, it was cheaper for us to get married in Bahamas, but it's not cheaper for me to get there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're combining their wedding and their honeymoon in the same place.
Yeah.
No. Oh, I love this. I love so the yield numbers are great. 12% double, like the conversion. That's awesome. I love how you've been able to make some adjustments too on some things that you've learned, being able to focus on things like visits, getting more visits, getting those that brand out there. You have 1 year under your belt. You're going into another year now. What are you anticipating or looking forward to, or what do you think is going to happen this year?
So we are looking to expand the student populations that we're offering direct admission to, because currently it's been that traditional first time in college that we've been offering direct admission to. So we have a wonderful population of transfer students, and we have a program called the Transfer Mentor Program, where we partner with community colleges, and they join the Transfer Mentor Program at the start of their community college. So we can provide co-advising between institutions. And so for those students, they fill out an agreement to be in the Transfer Mentor Program. So we asked the same question we did in early college, and we said, okay, what is missing on this agreement that could allow us to offer them direct admission to Southeast? And so we've made those tweaks. We actually transitioned our agreement into Element 451 as a form. And so we will start offering direct admission to our transfer students in that program.
I love this. I think one of the takeaways here, some people I think get overwhelmed and think they have to have all of the pieces figured out before launching an initiative like this. And you were able to do it with a small, like dual enrollment, see some numbers, make some changes. Now you get to try it with a transfer population. It's okay to start small. Like, I just want everybody out there to know that it's okay to start small, that you can iterate, that you can be agile, you can see some differences and improve that student experience for those audiences. So this has been just a nice recipe for success. Right. We already said she had the secret sauce,
Secret sauce.
Now she's got the recipe.
That's right. And it's like it's a masterclass in change management, because it's, again, we talked about this earlier in the episode. People are resistant to change. And so whenever you look at even what you were saying, Lenell, you guys initially looked at it from the perspective of with a partner, and then that door closed. That was a good opportunity for you to be like, oh yeah, see, look, change, no good. But you were like, nope, let's push through. Let's look at it from this different perspective, and let's try it here and see how it works out. And in the end, I mean, that still is the most, I think, impactful avenue from what you've experienced, is even just having that there for those student groups. And so it's just a testament to, you see something that could have impact, don't let a little speed bump keep driving forward.
That's right.
So that's awesome. I love that.
Be creative.
So, that's right. So knowing that you've driven the path, you've went over the speed bumps, and there's more speed bumps ahead, I'm sure. But what advice are you giving to the listener right here? Listener, you're here listening with us. What advice are you giving to that listener, for them who are maybe at that first speed bump where they thought about it, maybe they tried to push the door open a little bit, but then it kind of closed back on them? What advice are you giving them for what to do and where to go?
I'm going to say, take the call or reply to the email and schedule the meeting. I mean, the partnership opportunities when we first started looking at this in 2022 was a very short list. And 2 years later, that list for sure has doubled, right? And every engagement opportunity you get with a potential partner, you learn something new. It may spark a new idea or something that's like, well, it's not going to be a good fit for us to partner, but, I have this whole other idea or thought that I never would have had if I hadn't opened myself up to that opportunity. And so that can be challenging because there's only so many minutes in the day. And I know that our roles are super full, but find a way to squeeze in, even if it's just a 15, 20, 30-minute engagement. If you're going to any professional development conferences, go to the exhibit hall, realize what every single company there can offer you, your students, your institution, and take the time to engage and make an informed decision of if you're going to embrace that change.
Got to seize your moment, right?
Yeah, shoot your shot.
Your moment. Yeah, shoot your shot.
Well said, Lenell. All right, so we're coming to the end of the episode, and it's, I think, everybody's favorite time that this has been delightful. Thank you for sharing and imparting your wisdom. We have a tradition where and actually maybe we modify the question. We always ask our guests when they feel most in your element in the work that you do, but I'm going to rephrase it to, when are you in your element era? Lenell, in honor of our shirts. Is this your element era? Tell us more about when you feel in your element.
So literally talking about element 451, it really is when I'm digging into the data. So it's not the most glamorous work, but to see, the results that we're experiencing or maybe the challenging pieces of it, and then how can we use that to change or tweak or modify or adjust. Definitely in my element there. But like my true element that brings me like so much happiness is just people. I love my people. I love you all. I get so much energy when I am just connecting and having conversations and thinking about crazy out of the box things that then come to fruition, like at the Engage Summit when there was AI voice that blew me out of the water, and
me too. I didn't know it was, they started talking about it. I was like, wait, we're going to show this now? And then I was like, what? So they surprise us.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So cool. Well, you know what? This has been great. Like I said at the beginning, it's been an honor. So thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you, Lenell. This has been great. Good work. Keep up the good work at SEMO. Thank you for sharing your direct admissions journey, the results, the strategy that you've put in there. I know everyone will get a lot out of this episode. And thank you for the shirts. Thank you for the matching shirts. We love them and we will wear them proudly.
We're going to wear them proudly. And listen, there's going to have to be a night on the town in these shirts at Engage next year. So
yes,
fully anticipate
It's a coworker of mine who is making these.
She's doing a great job.
Yes.
Yeah, one of our admissions counselors. Yeah, so fun.
I also saw Mallory had one that said "In my Enrollify era," so it's expanding. I like it. I like where it's going. Yeah. Thanks so much, Lenell. In Your Element is part of the Enrollify podcast network. If you like this podcast, chances are you'll like other Enrollify shows too.
Our podcast network is growing by the month, and we've got a plethora of marketing, enrollment, and higher ed technology shows that are jam-packed with stories, ideas, and frameworks, all designed to empower you to be a better higher ed professional.
Our shows help higher ed marketers and enrollment professionals find their next big idea and feature a selection of the industry's best as your host. Learn from Mallory Wilsey, Artis Kadu, Maya Demishkovich, and so many other of your favorite leaders in higher ed.
Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the leading AI-powered, all-in-one student engagement platform, helping institutions create meaningful, personalized, and engaging interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com.